Yes, climate change is the biggest problem for mankind this century for sure. And for example, the World Economic Forum has shown that it's also a major economic problem. If we fail with climate mitigation or climate adaptation, that's the biggest risk for the global economy, even during the coming 10 years. And from our side, we are the host agency of IPCC, and then we are also providing annual reports on status of climate. And so far, all of the climatic indicators, they are negative. We have been breaking records in the main greenhouse gas concentrations, carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide year by year, and that happened also last year. We have stored growing amount of heat to ocean, and the heat content of the ocean has been growing. We have seen speeding up of the melting of glaciers and sea level rise. For example, sea level rise has doubled during the past 20 years, and we have started seeing growing amount of disasters and this kind of high impact weather events like heat waves here in Europe, in China, in the United States. We have seen severe flooding hitting Pakistan. We have started seeing tropical storms in areas where we didn't see them before, like in southeastern Africa, and we have more and more challenges with water, both drought challenges and also flooding challenges. And in some parts of the world, we have started seeing more often wildfires, and also we have started seeing more often sand and dust storms, which are causing negative impacts on human life. So climate change is already very visible, but the good news is that we have also better means to tackle this problem. We have, for example, the prices of solar and wind energy. They have been dropping under the prices of fossil energy. We have growing amount of electric vehicles on the market, and the prices of batteries are dropping, and we have all the means to solve this problem, and we have started acting, but so far we haven't been acting quickly enough to solve this problem. We are not yet heading towards the Paris 1.5 to 2 degrees target. We are heading towards 2.5 to 3 degrees target, which means that we would see much more difficulties worldwide if we are not able to speed up our action. Yeah, so I have had the pleasure to visit Abu Dhabi already twice this year, and I have had also a very good meeting with Dr. Al-Jaber, who is the president of COP28, and we have very much common understanding on the goals of the forthcoming COP28, and we are going to have a dedicated preparatory workshop in Abu Dhabi still in late September to also to pay attention to climate adaptation, like early warning services, and also better monitoring of greenhouse gases, and also improvement of our climate models, especially how we describe the future weather extreme events. And we are very happy of the movement that has been taking place thanks to the government of Arab Emirates. You have been investing more and more in renewable energy, and you are hosting IRENA, which is an important organization to promote wider use of solar and wind energy, and also potentially hydropower in the future, and that has been a very good investment, and we need to speed up such an action, hopefully also at the COP28. Of course, what is good news in your country is that you have been able to create many economic activities which are not related to fossil energy. It's only less than 20% of the economy is now dependent on fossil energy sources, and this is a good example for the rest of the Gulf countries. And of course, this fossil energy business is a critical thing when we think of our success in climate mitigation, and we have to start replacing the fossil energy sources with climate-friendly sources, solar, wind, hydro, bioenergy, and also nuclear energy to be successful in climate mitigation. And also the Gulf countries are very sensitive to the impacts of climate change. These higher temperatures are causing problems for human well-being. Sea level rise is threatening you, and your part of the world you may see more often drought sand and dust storms. So that you have also, there should be also good domestic motivation to be active in climate mitigation activities. I'm confident that the problem has been understood in Arab Emirates and also in the neighboring countries, and of course we need also to have this fossil business on board as part of the solution, and conversion of the energy systems to become climate friendly. It's also a business opportunity, and that's what we are very much expecting from your government and also from the governments of the neighboring countries. So the big picture is that we have to speed up our transition to climate-friendly solutions in many sectors, in energy sector, in transport sector, industries, and also in food supply sector, and there are good opportunities in all of those, and more ambitious transition of the energy systems to renewables is of course something which would be fairly natural for your government to promote at the COP. And in Glasgow 2 years ago, the G7 countries and European Union countries made commitments to keep us on this 1.5 degrees path, which would be the best goal from the perspective of the welfare of human beings and global economy and biosphere. And it would be great to get this ambition level raised, especially in so-called G20 countries, where we have big economies like China, India, Brazil, South Africa, Argentina, and it would be great to see more ambitious commitments made by those countries. And this is of course a diplomatic matter, and it's also United Nations wider challenge, and my colleague Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of Guterres, is using his personal authority to give a push for those G20 countries to raise their ambition level. Yeah, I think that this fact that you have changed your economic structure so that you are only a small fraction of your economy is dependent on the fossil fuel sales, and I think that's a good example, and it would be great that many other similar countries would follow your example, and then you are using your resources to promote the use of renewable energy, which is very much welcome, and personally I don't see the energy providers as a problem, but they also understand how we could find a solution to that, and that's what we are very much expecting from the government of Arab Emirates, and especially Dr. Al-Jaber, who is the president of COP28. So of course we would like to see more ambitious mitigation agreements made in Dubai later this year, and from WMO's side we are very much promoting early warning services for all initiative, which is a way to minimize the loss and damage caused by this growing amount of disasters. We expect to see investments in that initiative so that we would have better early warning systems in place worldwide. We have major gaps in African countries, island states, and some less developed countries in Asia and Latin America as well, where we need to invest. Then we would like to see promotion of better climate modeling to estimate what's going to happen in the future. And there's a need to go to higher resolution of climate modeling to estimate, for example, what's going to happen to the weather extremes in the future. With the current climate models, we can estimate what's going to happen to the average temperature or precipitation, but we are not able to say too much about the extremes and the impacts of climate change. They very much felt through these extremes. And the third initiative that WMO has on the table is new way of monitoring the greenhouse gas budgets, the sources and sinks of carbon dioxide, methane and nitrous oxide by using ground-based observations, satellite and modeling means. We are also seeking for approval for new concepts which would enhance our understanding of, for example, the role of biosphere in carbon budget or the sources of methane, which are both a bit unknown at the moment.